Well, the San Francisco Giants City Connect uniforms have dropped, and look, you've probably heard they've gone with a music theme this year, and they could have been a lot worse. But the reality is, they should have been a lot better. Look, I think what's missing here is that outside of the patch and outside of the wavy lines, outwardly, there's no real connection to either music or San Francisco. And even both of those were pretty abstract connections. It's a shame because music could have been such a great theme, and some of the aspects here work. I love the wavy pinstripes. I think they look really good, and somehow they ended up with a pretty good hat. The color gradients aren't the worst thing in the world. I think they can work, and orange and purple doesn't look that bad. Equating it to the Fillmore lights, okay, I get that. Although I think it would have looked a little bit better if they'd added in another color, like red or yellow. The problem is there ended up being these weird mental gymnastics about why purple. Saying it's from the lights at the Fillmore and a color often used with psychedelic stuff was enough. But the Giants went and tried to connect it to the 1910s New York Giants, who wore purple as a tribute to John McGraw's connection to NYU. And that's cool, but that has nothing to do with either music or San Francisco. It looks like they're trying too hard to justify it. They also occasionally connect it to like a lava lamp, and I'm not sure that trying to make a connection to one of the best home furnishings sold at Spencer's Gifts is the way to make this look pretty high class. They could have just left it at the Fillmore connection, and that was it. And then maybe drop that, oh yeah, and the Giants have worn purple before, as like trivia after the fact, and then that's fine. That's cool. I like trivia. But the real problem with these jerseys is that ugly typeface. An explainer video from the Giants described it as,
and the script was inspired by old psychedelic concert posters from the 60s.
A different Giants explainer video said,
the Giants' wordmark on the chest is psychedelically warped and stretched like a lava lamp in motion, moving with the music and energy of the game.
Does it actually look like either of those things? I don't see this font anywhere in psychedelic movie posters or anything close. Nothing about this typeface says psychedelic. It looks like a 90s typeface when some music executives thought, hey, this hip-hop thing could be cool, but let's make the font a little bit less graffiti, and made a sanitized version where white guys could rap about, not doing drugs. It's lame. It's sanitized. It's cartoonish. It's awful. And something that really bothers me about this is it switches from like block letters to cursive for some reason, and I don't get it. And what's crazier is the typeface does not totally match other typefaces that are used. Look at the San Francisco brand that they've got, which is hidden down on the side of the jersey. Some of the font is the same, but it's got a block S instead of that cursive S. And then if you look at the hat logo's SF is a very different font than what's used in that San Francisco wordmark. That may be a reason why I like the hat a little better. The reality is they could have gone with an actual Fillmore-inspired typeface, and it would have looked really good. It may not have been that legible, and I've talked about how legibility is important on jerseys, but you could have made an exception here. And if you did want something more block letters, there are far better hip-hop inspired fonts that would still have a connection to music, still look good, and definitely look better than this. Heck, you could even use the gradient style that was used on the Last City Connects for the fog, and use that to make this graffiti style sort of gradient color in the letters if you don't want to go with block white. Either one of them would have looked far better. But one of the coolest actual music connections, they hid from everything. There's this patch that's got 9 small icons that represent 9 different genres of music that have contributed to San Francisco over the years. But it's on the corner of the jersey that's tucked into the pants. It's also on the hat, on the inside of the hat where you can't see it. The only place where it's actually visible is on the socks, and I love the socks, but half the players are going to cover them. Even Willie Adames, who's like the spokesperson for this jersey and style. Why are these icons not anywhere else on the jersey? And I'll be honest, where they should be is right on the cuff of the sleeve, replacing the gradient, which looks generic, and suddenly giving that prime spot a lot more meaning and bringing that connection to music even further out there. Ultimately, that's the end indictment of these jerseys. The idea was good, the theme is cool, but they didn't connect it enough, and they hide the connections and instead leave the worst part of the jersey as the most prominent. Side note, I kind of wish they'd actually done this with black pants with the wavy pinstripes going down them, and then you could have the gradient as a side stripe along the pants. Am I crazy for thinking that would have looked good? Please, Giants, Nike, even Fanatics, remix these jerseys just a little bit more. Connect them to the music. Make a couple of tweaks. These could be really great jerseys, but at this point, I don't hate them, but I absolutely don't love them. I am just too extremely whelmed by them. Do better.